Mr. Speaker, it's my privilege in this third reading of Private Security Personnel and Private Investigator Bill. Sir, this bill highlights the concern demonstrated by the review of 1974 Act. Mr. Speaker, this bill repeals and replaces the Private Investigator and Security Guard Act 1974. There has been a major development since this bill was enacted in 1974. Time has changed and a lot of modern gadgets have been added. This bill will ensure that there will be in future be better screening and monitoring of all personnel entering this industry. To this end, there is a requirement to wear an identification badge that has been issued by the authority. A licensing authority will be established to replace the existing registrar of private investigator and security guard. This authority will manage the licensing process and enforce the licensing requirements. This bill controls all people involved in this industry and ensure that the personnel undertake at least a minimum level of training to handle any situation they may encounter. The licensing authority will also have discretion to cancel a license if the licensee is guilty of misconduct or gross negligence in course of their business. In this light, penalties for offences have been increased. The maximum penalty incurred for operating a business without license currently is $2,000 and will go up to $40,000 for the individual and $60,000 for the company. Mr. Speaker, the reform of security industry is very timely as we will be hosting the Rugby World Cup. Under this bill, crowd controllers such as bouncers who perform an important role at busy bars and pubs will be regulated for first time. They will be expected to deal with any crowd control situation that may arise. The most important policy change relates to Clause 66. Sir, this Clause 66, according to Act of 1974, prohibits private investigators from taking or using photographs or audio recording without obtaining the person's written consent. This clause has been viewed very controversially for some time. This ban has made it extremely difficult for private investigators to do their work that is legitimate and often important, such as exposing frauds or locating missing persons. The majority of Select Committee recommended removing the Clause 66 and replacing it with the requirement to make regulation that imposes a code of conduct for private investigators. This code of conduct has a wide scope, such as disqualification of a person from holding a license if they have conviction or certain offences, for example, violence or dishonesty. The Select Committee also extended the list of relevant offences to include offences under the Arms Act, criminal harassment, contravening and restraining order, inmate convert filming offence. Any of these offences would reflect on persons' suitability to do security work. Mr. Speaker, in last, I would like to acknowledge Chester Borrows, the chairperson of the Select Committee, and other members who have worked hard to finalize this bill. I will also like to acknowledge Honorable David Parker, whose knowledgeable input has also benefited this bill. In last, I would like to commend this bill to the House.